Hello YouTube, welcome to another one of my Duel Links videos, and today I have for you the Post-Nerf Six Samurai deck. Now, Six Samurais didn't directly get hit in the ban list, but I think the new ban list and the skill nerf really hinder what Six Samurais had been able to do as of late, and that's because they've lost World Legacy Clash and they've also lost Beatdown, which was a more and more popular skill with this deck. So even though they're still a great deck, I don't know where they're gonna end up once the meta stabilizes, and that's why I wanted to build this deck. There's not gonna be a whole lot of new Six Samurai tech and things like that. This is more of a discussion video, even though I will show gameplay and talk about my card choices. But yeah, I think what they lost with World Legacy Clash and Beatdown is they kind of lost their mid to late game. So now, at least the way I think you're gonna have to play it is you're just gonna have to play it as turbo as possible. You're gonna want to have your Shien turn 1, and you're gonna want to have your dual wield as well. That's basically what you're gonna have to do now. Just rely on the two best Six Samurai cards and hope that you can, keep your opponent from playing to the point where you can just hit him twice with Shien, or Shien Kisan, something like that, into an OTK. So it inherently weakens the deck going second. World Legacy Clash allowed you to dodge a card. Like, you could summon something, if it's about to get floodgated, you legacy it, and then it comes back to the end phase and you still have your dual wield active because your monster is not in defense position. So they definitely did lose a lot of its power, and that's why I'm now building this deck. As you can see, I'm running double dojo and no Inishi. The reason being is I'm trying to maximize the consistency of a Shien turn 1. We're basically running 5 Fuma with the dojos, and we're running 6 level 4-star monsters to pair up with the Fuma in order to go to our turn 1 Shien. We're running 3 United so that we can draw into our dual wield, which is going to be our win con along with Shien. And then the rest of the deck is whatever tech cards you want to use. So this is basically the template that I think you're going to have to use. And my tech choices are 1, Cunning of the Six Samurai. Cunning is really good. It's kind of like a baby legacy because it can help you dodge certain things. It also gives you a second attack if there's nothing on the field. If you have a Shien, it can give you a second negation because you can negate with Shien, send them from the field to the graveyard, bring him back to the field, and then you have an additional negation that same turn. So there's numerous things you can do with Cunning. You can also go for double Shien thanks to Cunning, because if you have, say you have a Shien and you have 2 other monsters, you can just use your Cunning to bring back whatever monster you're missing in order to make that second Shien. So for example, a common play would be Shien into double Kisan. I send Kisan to the graveyard, bring back a Fuma, and now I have double Shien. So that's 2 layers of negation that my opponent has to get through. Wall of Disruption is really strong. Right now, we're gonna have to see where Ancient Gears end up, and then Wall of these maybe not gonna be so great anymore. And then I threw in 1 Lava Golem because, like I said, I don't have a lot of room to put in tech cards to a lot of specific matchups. I don't have tech cards for Kosaidos. I'm just relying on hopefully having my Shien out to negate the invocation. The Dark Lord match is going to be a nightmare because without Beatdown, how are you going to get over a 2900 defense Ixchel, right? You're going to have to use your dual wield. You're going to have to use something else. We don't even have a Nishi, at least not in this version. So Lava Golem is just that universal out to a lot of problematic boards, and it doesn't hurt the deck too much because once you have Shien, you don't have to rely on the normal summon. You can just special summon the Kisans and then put a Lava Golem on their field. Shien with the ties that binds can easily get over the Lava Golem if you need to get over it. Otherwise, just recycle it with the dual wield, get it back to your hand, and use it whenever you need to. So I think Lava Golem is a nice one-of in the deck. Hopefully you don't see it too much to where it bricks you, but I think it'll come in clutch when you do see it. But that's pretty much my thoughts on the deck. The extra deck pretty standard. We have Shien, Keeper, Mistworm, and now we can use White Aura Dolphin. And this is just in those instances where you're so close to winning the game that it's like, you know, whatever, I'll get rid of my Shien, summon, use Fuma with Shien to summon a Dolphin and just get my win and get out of this game. But yeah, that's basically all I wanted to explain. I'm gonna show you some replays, but this is just, you know, your bread and butter Six Samurai stuff. Nothing you guys haven't seen. It was more I wanted to discuss how the new ban list and the nerfs affected Six Samurai, even though it didn't seem like it got hit directly. But World Legacy Clash was a big part of the Six Samurai deck after the Inishi nerfs, and well, the Inishi go into the ban list. So here we are, wave 1, turn 1 Shien, and we have a Wall of Disruption to back him up, which my opponent, this is just the mind games. You know, if you don't have a great hand, you can always set a United, you can always set a Wall of Disruption, set anything to make your opponent play conservatively, because they'll imagine that this is a dual wield. Because when have you seen a Six Samurai player not have dual wield? So unfortunately, we're going in the mirror match, and this guy just has everything, right? He has the beautiful Kageki into Kagemusha hand. He even has a Gisan to back him up. We're gonna take a bunch of life, and we have a Shien on the field. So we're gonna have to rely on this Wall of Disruption and the Lava Golem. I figure my opponent would be greedy and summon another monster. That actually saves my bacon. Wall of D is going to keep me alive with 100 life. We top deck a monster, which is what we needed. I'm going to destroy that Inishi because I know that's probably a dual wield back there, so I got to play around that. There's the Fuma. I have to dual wield right now. Otherwise, he can go into Vermilion. I don't know what kind of level 9s he runs. So we have to dual wield immediately. He goes for Asceticism, which is another card you can use, but you have to add a bunch of different monsters. And I think at the end of the day, even though you have more explosive plays, you're not gonna have that turn 1 Shien as consistently. So right here, he's gonna use one on the Fuma to summon Kageki. He's gonna use another one on Kageki to summon Fuma. But he made the mistake of summoning the first Kageki in defense position. Otherwise, he should have won this duel, right? But he summoned it in defense, and we're gonna take advantage of that. I banished this for no reason. Don't ask me why I did that. I don't attack the Fuma because I don't want to give him a monster. I don't want to give him a search. He sets the other Fuma that I had in hand that I returned with a dual wield. So now all I have to do is Lava Golem, set up my wall, and you know, just scum him out of that win. But you gotta do what you gotta do, man. I didn't have a great opening hand compared to his, so luckily the Lava Golem won me the mirror match in that particular instance. And yeah, man, Six Samurai is one of those decks that I definitely love to play, hate to play against. But I don't think it's overpowered. Definitely not with the amount of big boys we have in the meta right now. I mean, anything can get over 2500. So here we have a Spell Specialist. And this is just, again, you want to go into turn 1 Shien and dual wield as consistently as possible. So even though my hand looks rough, it doesn't matter. I still have the turn 1 Shien and I have the dual wield. I don't even have to attack into this. Why risk you know, the flip effect, or why give him like a White Stone of Ancients? I don't know what this guy is running. So I don't even have to attack. I'm just gonna sit on my spell trap negation and sit on my back row. He summons a monster, or sets a monster. We're gonna send him back to the hand. We have the negate for the trap, so he scoops. And yeah, I mean that's basically what I think, or how I think you have to run the deck now. I'm sure people are gonna come up with different, you know, different builds. Grandmaster, we have Great Shogun Shien, and those will be fine and strong. But you know, I don't know where Six Samurais are gonna end up. I'm a little sad that they lost so much power. So here we don't have a great starting hand. It's actually pretty bricky, but we can still turn 1 Shien, and that's all we care about. If we can summon Shien turn 1 and we end up losing, it's whatever, you know. The guy had a better deck, we lost. But you don't want to lose because you open with like Inishi Kisan. You know, you wanna get your big boy out. He is the main focus of the deck. Here I get very lucky and I don't get OTK'd because he's not able to get the Alistair back from the hand. Excuse me, back from the grave, from the banish pile to the hand, because he had to fuse from the hand. So anyway, we top deck the Duel Wheel, which is what we needed. We're just gonna summon the Fuma. He goes for elemental training. It doesn't matter because I'm gonna go into, you know, my boy Shien, which is gonna let me destroy this Lap. And he didn't have a card in hand, so Molehu could not flip anything face down. We're gonna Duel Wheel in the battle phase. Elemental training into Molehu. Had he top deck an Element Saber monster right there, it would have been trouble, but luckily he did not. So we're gonna go for the Tie That Binds. There's a Sphere Kribo, which is fine. We're gonna negate the Elemental Lords. Activate my Cunning of the Six Sam. Even though I knew his other card was the trap card, you could have chained to the Palace of the Elemental Lords. You could have chained your Cunning to bring him back to the field, you know, at the end of that chain. That way, if he tries to activate another field spell, you're able to negate that second field spell. But here, I'm just using it to bring him back into attack position. We know what that card is really not a huge concern. And we're just gonna bluff the Duel Wield right here. We get the scoop. He wasn't necessarily in a super bad situation, though he was probably gonna have to rely on either the field spell or the which one was that one, by the way? Was that this? He's gonna have to rely on the field spell and or invocation, and we could negate either or, so he was definitely in a tough spot right there. We get the scoop. He also probably thought I had a Duel Wheel. I don't know if this is the same replay or this is another replay, but we'll see. No, it's definitely another replay. So look at this ridiculous hand. I mean, I can't do much with it, right? I don't have Shien. What did I tell you? Shien Duel Wheel is ideal, but if you can have one or the other, that's good enough. I'm gonna activate United just to kind of feel the waters. I felt a delay here, so I didn't know if this was a Cyclone or a counter trap. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my one draw. If it's a Cyclone, I don't want to lose my United without getting the card advantage. So we're just gonna set triple Duel Wheel. Something has to happen to this Fuma to where I can't even special summon a monster from the deck in order for all these cards to be dead. So it's still a playable hand. We also have the Legendary Secret to follow up with a Shien next turn. So triple Duel Wheel. It's gonna summon Cosmo Brain. We're gonna Duel Wheel. And there's the Rebirth of Parsat, which is a counter trap. That's fine. It's gonna negate my first Duel Wheel, send it back to the grave. But guess what? There's more when that came from. Activate Duel Wheel number 2, shuffle them back. He's gonna destroy my Fuma, which is kind of ill-advised because I can just search another one and get a Kizaru on the field. And from here on, all I have to do is summon the Fuma, summon Legendary Secrets, go into Shien, and win the game. There we go. Ties. Boom. And what do we have? Last but not least, we have a Merit. But yeah, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this whole situation. Do you think Six Samurais are fine? Do you think they're actually going to thrive in the new format? Are you ready to see them go? Are you sick of them? What are your feelings overall towards this amazing archetype that I dearly love? Alright, so here we have a Magician's Rod, and this is where you see the power of Cunning of the Six Sams. We're going to be able to double Shien, well, after we top deck a Legendary Secrets. That definitely helps. So there's Shien number 1. We know one of those is Magician's Navigation. He probably should have activated early. He should have known where I was going with this. Maybe not here, but definitely here. He should have activated both of his cards, you know, to where I could negate one and then he could maybe play the other navigation immediately. Once he sees that I'm about to double Shien, we get the scoop, because double Shien is double Shien, man. What can I say? And yeah, that's it for this video. Again, I know I didn't show anything too crazy because the deck is still what it is. It's still Shein and it's still dual wield. It's just how do you get to that consistently, and you know, what are gonna be the new techs now that World Legacy and Beatdown are gone. And I hope you guys enjoyed this sort of discussion video over some gameplay. Thank you so much for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe if you want, and until next time.